In 1669, a painter died quietly in Amsterdam. He was buried in a rented grave because he had little money left. At the time, very few people noticed his death. His career seemed to have faded, and his fame had disappeared. Yet centuries later, the world would remember him as one of the greatest artists who ever lived. His name was Rembrandt. Rembrandt van Rijn was born in 1606 in the Dutch city of Leiden. His father was a miller, and his mother came from a baker's family. They were not poor, but they were not part of the elite either. Like many parents, they hoped their son would choose a stable career. For a short time, Rembrandt even attended Leiden University. However, it soon became clear that his real passion was painting. As a young student, Rembrandt trained under local masters and quickly showed unusual talent. What made him different from many artists of his time was his curiosity about human emotion. He was not satisfied with painting perfect faces. He wanted to paint real people with real feelings. This interest in human psychology would later become the heart of his work. By his early 20s, Rembrandt had already begun experimenting with dramatic lighting. Instead of evenly lighting every part of a painting, he used strong contrasts between light and shadow. Light would fall on the most important part of the scene, while the rest remained hidden in darkness. This technique gave his paintings a theatrical feeling, as if the viewer was watching a scene unfold on a stage. In 1631, Rembrandt moved to Amsterdam, which was one of the richest cities in Europe during the Dutch Golden Age. Wealthy merchants, scholars, and civic leaders wanted portraits that showed their success and social status. Rembrandt quickly gained attention and soon became one of the most requested portrait painters in the city. His portraits stood out because they felt alive. Instead of painting stiff figures with polite expressions, he captured personality and emotion. A small tilt of the head, a thoughtful gaze, or a slight tension in the mouth could reveal something about the person's character. Viewers felt that they were looking at a living human being rather than a decorative image. Around this time, Rembrandt also began something unusual. He started painting himself again and again. Throughout his life, he created around 90 self-portraits, including paintings, drawings, and etchings. No artist before him had documented their own face in such a detailed and honest way. These self-portraits worked almost like a visual diary. In the early ones, we see a young artist experimenting with expressions and lighting. Sometimes he looks curious. Sometimes he looks confident. At other times, he looks playful while wearing costumes or historical clothing. Through these images, we can see an ambitious artist studying his own face and testing the possibilities of paint. In 1634, Rembrandt married Saskia van Eilenberg. She came from a respected and wealthy family, and their marriage brought happiness and stability into his life. Saskia often appeared in his paintings and drawings. During these years, Rembrandt enjoyed both financial success and artistic freedom. One of the most famous works from this period was the large group portrait, known as the Night Watch. Instead of showing the figures standing quietly in rows, Rembrandt painted them in motion. Some figures step forward, while others turn their heads or raise their weapons. The composition feels energetic and dramatic, as if the scene has been captured in the middle of action. Although some viewers were surprised by this bold approach, the painting later became one of the most celebrated works in art history.
The scale, the movement, and the mystery behind this painting make it far more than just a group portrait. The Night Watch is filled with fascinating details that deserve a deeper exploration. Because of that, we will be dedicating a separate video entirely to this masterpiece.
Success did not last forever. Tragedy slowly entered Rembrandt's life. Rembrandt and Saskia had 4 children, but only one survived infancy. Then, in 1642, Saskia herself died at the age of 30. Her death deeply affected him and marked the beginning of a difficult period. In the years that followed, Rembrandt's popularity as a portrait painter began to decline. His style became rougher and more emotional. He cared less about fashionable beauty and more about truth and character. Many wealthy clients preferred smoother portraits from other artists who followed the latest trends. Financial troubles soon followed. Rembrandt loved collecting art, costumes, and rare objects that he used as inspiration in his studio. These purchases were expensive, and eventually, his debts grew too large to manage. In 1656, he declared bankruptcy, and his house, along with many of his possessions, were sold at auction. For many artists, such a disaster would have ended their career. Yet Rembrandt continued to paint with determination. In fact, many art historians believe that some of his most powerful works were created during these later years. The paintings from this period feel deeper and more personal. His brush strokes became thicker and more expressive. Faces in his paintings appear thoughtful and full of experience. Instead of youthful confidence, we see maturity and reflection. Rembrandt also continued to paint himself. These late self-portraits are very different from those of his youth. The young artist, who once experimented with costumes, is now replaced by an older man with tired eyes and wrinkled skin. Yet there is strength in his expression. He does not hide his age or his struggles. In these images, Rembrandt seems to be confronting his own life. The paint becomes heavier, and the light falls gently across the face, while the background remains dark. Every wrinkle and shadow tells a story about time and experience. One of his final self-portraits, painted around 1669, shows him looking directly at the viewer. The clothing is simple, and the background is quiet, but the face holds a powerful presence. It is the face of a man who has known success, loss, love, and hardship, yet continues to stand with dignity. Not long after completing this painting, Rembrandt died in Amsterdam. At that moment, he was not widely celebrated. Many people believe that his greatest days were already behind him. However, history slowly changed this judgment. Over the centuries, artists and historians began to recognize the extraordinary depth of his work. His understanding of light, his honest portrayal of humanity, and his fearless self-observation made him unique. Today, Rembrandt is considered one of the greatest painters in the history of art. His works are displayed in major museums around the world and continue to inspire new generations of artists. Perhaps the most remarkable part of his legacy is the long series of self-portraits he left behind. Through them, we can watch a human life unfold from youth to old age. Rembrandt did something rare in the history of art. He did not simply paint faces. He painted the passage of time and the complexity of being human. That is why his work still speaks to us today, even after more than 300 years.